The Funeral, a Family Affair, Chapter 8, The Motel. Scene is the highway, 1990s minivan going down the road. Sound of tires on expansion joints. The thumps become slower as minivan slows down. Buddy to clerk. Hey, May, dear. How does this one look? Says they could have a free breakfast. I wish they had a free supper. I could go for that now. Lucky we brought a watermelon along. We can have that to eat. The van turns into a motel with a large flashing neon sign. Resting place, resting place, resting place. Buddy, I hope that name means something. I'm tired. I'll go in and see how much it costs. We don't want to spend any more than we have to. May, maybe they will give you a discount of some kind. We'll have AARP and AAA. Surely we can get something off. Buddy getting out of the van. Don't worry, I'll do my best. But he gets out of the van, walks into the motel. He makes a face at the musty smell he encounters. He goes up to the desk. Buddy, how much is a room for the night? Motel clerk, Jonathan Winter's clone. That depends. How many of y'all are there? Buddy, 3. But one is my mother. She'll be staying in the van. I need a room which I can get the van close to so I can watch it. Motel clerk, are you going to leave your mother in the van overnight? Buddy, oh, well, she won't mind at all. Motel clerk, man, that is cruel. I would not make my mother stay in the van to save a few bucks. Buddy, well, I don't think we could get her through the door. Surprised look on clerk's face. She's that big? Buddy, oh no, she weighs 87 pounds. Clerk, well then why can't you get her through the door? Oh, Buddy says, well, the casket is too big. The clerk jumps back like someone tried to hit him. Casket? Man, are you crazy? Buddy, yes, Mother dear died and we're taking her back to Tyler for her funeral. Motel clerk, man, is that even legal? I mean, to be hauling a dead body in your own van? Man, that is sick. That is disgusting. Buddy, ignoring that remark, how much for a room for 2? Motel clerk, I'm not sure I want to rent a room to you. I can't believe you. Buddy, come on, man, we're tired. We need to rest. Clerk, well, okay, but I don't like it. I got a room in the back that you can pull up close to, but don't tell anybody you got a dead body in that van. I don't want you to scare people off. I'll let you have it for 65 bucks. Buddy pulls out a wallet and hands the man his AARP card and his AAA card. Then he pulls out his credit card. Buddy, I have AARP and AAA. Can I get both discounts? No way, man. I can't believe you. Mutters to himself about people who drive around with caskets in the back of their cars. Runs a credit card. Motel clerk continuing. Here, fill out this information and sign this slip. Man, are you sure it's legal to haul a dead body around in a minivan? Buddy, yes it is, and I have papers to prove it, and it sure saves a lot of money too. Buddy signs credit card, stuffs all the cards back into his wallet. Disgusting, simply disgusting. Here's your key. Drive around to the back of the motel and come in the back door. Buddy turns and walks out the door. The clerk is still muttering to himself and shaking his head. The camera swings to the van and follows it around the motel as Buddy drives around to the back of the motel. He gets out and he opens the door for May. Buddy, May, you go on in and get your shower. I'll have to unload the suitcases, then we can have our watermelon and go to bed. May, sounds good. I'm ready for a snack and a good night's sleep. Buddy brings in a couple of suitcases, then goes back to get the watermelon, comes in, shuts the door. By now, May is out of the bathroom. She cuts the melon. Buddy prays, thank you, dear Lord, for the food that we're about to eat. Amen. Both of them eat with gusto. Buddy says, good melon. May grunts her approval. Yeah, this sure is good, Buddy. If you don't mind, I would like just to sleep tonight, Buddy, if you insist. Buddy wrinkles his nose when he says it. They go out preparing for bed, and they crawl under the covers. May says, "Sleep well, dear." Buddy says, "Hmm." Fade out. Fade in. Exterior parking lot. Camera moves out to the parking lot, pans to movement in the shrubs around the parking lot. There are two hoods in black clothes hiding behind the shrubs. Crook 1, let's check and see if any's left their cars unlocked. Oh, here's one from New Mexico, out of state. That means they probably left some stuff in the back. They sneak up to the van, they try the door handle, and it's open. They open the front doors on each side and look on the floor and the glove box and under the seats. Nothing but trash. Crook 2, let's try the back doors. They simultaneously open side doors. Scene jumps to inside of room. May wakes up. May says, "Buddy, I hear something. Wake up, wake up." She grabs the car keys and goes to the window. She sees the crooks opening the doors. The crooks see the coffin. Cut to crooks. Crook 2. Crook 2. What do you think they're hiding in there? Crook 1. Well, no one will haul around a body in a minivan. It must have something valuable in it. Let's see if we can get it open. The crooks start fumbling with the casket top. Crook 1. I can't seem to get it open. Inside, May hits the panic alarm on the key fob. The horn honks, the emergency lights flash, the van shakes, the doors go back and forth. The crooks both jump and hit their heads on the door frames and knock themselves out. Guest in the next room jumps up, looks out the window, takes in the scene, and calls 911. Dispatch, bored tone of voice. 911 dispatch, what is your emergency? Guest 1. Well, we have some kind of a problem here at the resting place. I see two men lying on the ground, and the van has its emergency flashers on and it's honking. Can you send someone here? Dispatch. Do the men seem to be harmed? Guest 1. Well, they're lying on the ground. I think they're passed out or something. I think they were trying to break into a car. Dispatch. Well, we'll have a patrol in the area. I'll send them right over. By now, other guests are awake and coming out of their rooms. Buddy and May come out in their night clothes as well as others. The thieves are starting to stir. Buddy, these men were trying to break into my van. We got to hold them for the police. Guess what? I've already called 911. The police should be here any moment. Just then the police pull up. Lights flashing but no siren. They found Buddy, May, and several other guests sitting on the crooks. The crooks are complaining about the weight. Officer 1 has a huge belly and about 6'2", scruffy cowboy boots, a felt cowboy hat with sweatbands around it, all of the normal gear around his belly. Officer 2 is about 5'6" and is pencil thin. His uniform is impeccably clean and starched. He has on police hat, black Wellingtons, and the usual gear. Officer 1. Well, you can get off of them now. We're here. What seems to be the matter? The police are cuffing the crooks while they're talking. Buddy. Well, these guys were trying to get into Mama's coffin, and May here clicked on the panic button. Officer 2. Well, wait a minute. Did you say coffin? What you doing with a coffin in your van? What did you say? Your mother's coffin? What's going on here, fella? Crook 2. Officer, I bet you he's got something illegal in there. He's probably running drugs or something. Officer 1. Oh, you shut up. Whatever it was, you were trying to get it. Officer 1 turns to Buddy. What you got in there, sir? Buddy, well, it's my mother. Officer 2. Oh, yeah? Just open it up and let us see. Now, Buddy, well, I got to go back in and get the crank. I'll be right back. Officer 2 draws a gun and keeps it handy. Not so quick. I'm going with you. No surprises, you hear? Buddy goes with the officer back to get the crank to unlock the casket. They come out warily. Buddy starts to slide in the back door, but the officer pulls him back. Officer 2. Not so fast, Buddy. Buddy. How did you know my name? Officer 1. What? Buddy the clerk. How did you know my name? Officer 1, Buddy, I don't know your name. Are you trying to get smart with me? Buddy, you must know my name. You just call me Buddy. Officer 1, oh, forget it. Give me the crank. Buddy, May, this guy just called me by my name. Did you tell him what my name was? Officer 1, I said forget it. Give me the crank. Buddy hands the officer the crank. Buddy says, well, he sure is cranky. The officer sticks his head into where he can see, inserts the crank, and opens the coffin lid a little. When it opens a little ways, he sticks his face close to the opening and yells, oh my goodness! Officer 1 jerks his head back and hits the top of the door frame, passes out cold. Crooks in handcuffs by now break out laughing. Crook 2, now that copper knows what we feel like. Officer 2, getting nervous, puts cuffs on Buddy. Okay, Buddy, whatever your name is, do you have any identification? The rest of you clear out. Well, sure, I've got identification. It's in the bedroom. Point to May. Officer 2, is this your wife? Buddy, yes. Officer 2, send her in for the keys and your ID, and you stay right here against the van. I'm going to have to call for backup. On radio, Central, this is Officer 34. We need backup, and I need the county coroner. I just got one officer injured and a dead body under suspicious circumstances. Location, resting place motel on Highway 64. We're in the back. Roger that, Officer 34. Backup is on the way. We will notify the coroner. Officer 1, groaning, staggers to his feet. Officer 2, Larry, you okay? Officer 1, I don't know. What attacked me? Was it one of those crooks? No, you hit your head. Officer 1, oh yeah, boy, I got a bump on my head. There's definitely a body in there. You can smell it. Do you think it is to cover up the smell of drugs? Maybe we should call in the canine team. Officer 2, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that. Maybe this is a new way to haul drugs around. Walks back to the car and picks up Mike. Officer 2, Central, this is Officer 34 again. Can you have the canine team come here too? We may have something going on here. Dispatch, Roger that, 34. Canine team on the way. Buddy, oh come on, officer, that's just my mom. We're taking to her funeral in Tyler. Officer 1, pipe down, sir. We just happen to know that there are a lot of drugs going to that part of the state, particularly Tyler. Buddy groans and shakes his head. It's just Mama. Puts his head in his hands. May comes up and puts her arms around Buddy. Officer 2, ma'am, please back away. We don't want to have to put you in cuffs too. May goes into the motel, drags out a chair on the sidewalk, and sits down. Multiple thumps on road, sirens everywhere. Fire truck, coroner van, canine car, police car. Motel is just about surrounded by sirens and lights. All guests are awake on the sidewalk or looking out of windows. The canine jumps out and the officer takes the dog over to the van. The dog declines to enter. Canine officer hollers to the others, we got to get this coffin out of here. There's not enough room for Butch. Officer 1, where will we put it? Canine officer, just put it on the ground. That'll make it easier for Butch. Buddy, struggling against handcuffs, can't you at least put a little something under it? Come on, show some respect. Officer 1, if she's going to be in the ground tomorrow, what difference does it make? Buddy groans. Officers, firemen get together and pull the coffin out and set it on the ground. Canine officer says, here, Butch, seek. Butch starts at the back side of the coffin and walks around sniffing. The officer opens the casket and points into it. Butch takes one swift and faints. Officer slams the lid back down. Hey, Buddy, when did your mother die? Buddy, 9 days ago. Canine officer, why are you waiting so long for the funeral? Buddy, folks had to come from all over. This is the soonest they could all get here. Canine officer, mister, there gotta be a better way. Buddy groans, it was too expensive. Canine officer, man, you are cheap. Coroner arrives in an old pale blue Cadillac hearse. He is wearing a stained white shirt that is trying to break away from a large belly. He has a cowboy hat on and is chewing a cigar. Officer, Sam, we got a body in here. This man says he's taking his mother to Tyler for her funeral. Says she died in New Mexico. Will you check this out for me? Coroner, sure, open the casket. Both parts of the lid are open. The dog whimpers and runs and jumps back through the window into the car. Turns around and looks at what is going on. Coroner puts his hat down on his car, pulls on a mask and gloves and goes over to the body, looks over it for a minute, rolls the body to one side and pats down the bottom of the casket, rolls back and pats down the other side, looks at the femoral artery area, puts her back in place. Buddy looking green and sick. Coroner, yep, she's dead. Dead as a doornail. Been embalmed too. I'd say about 9 days ago. Turns to Buddy. Hey, mister, you got any papers? Buddy, yes, sir, I have them right here in my briefcase. Coroner, can you let this man loose? No drugs, just a very dead woman. Officers uncuff Buddy. Coroner continues. Just to cover the bases, can you show me the papers? Buddy, sure. Buddy goes into the room and brings out papers. Coroner looks over the documents. Oh, this all seems to be legit, guys. Let's wrap this up. Buddy, can you put Mama back? I can't do it by myself. Officer 2, sure. Sorry for all the trouble. Crew lifts Mama back into the van. The door is shut. Officer 1, mister, you need to make sure your doors are locked next time, okay? Made a lot of fuss leaving the doors unlocked. Buddy, yes, sir, I think I learned my lesson on that one. Cops turn to the crooks, grab them by their arms, and carry them to a police car. Officer 1, come on, you guys. We're going to give you a nice, quiet place to stay for a while. The crooks are loaded into a car, and one by one the vehicles leave. The motel clerk comes to Buddy. Mister, I ain't going to kick you out or nothing, but please don't stop at my motel ever again. The clerk turns and walks away. Buddy and May go back into room. May, I'm really ready to sleep now. Buddy, did you lock the van? Buddy goes to the window, points the remote at van and clicks the remote, but hits the panic button again. Buddy frantically tries to stop honking. People running out of the motel to see what's happening now. Fade out.